The European Union says the new law could make it difficult to negotiate a two-state solution. Turkey has gone further. The government has condemned the Knesset's decision. President Erdogan's spokesman, Ibrahim Kalin, has tweeted, "It is not possible to accept this racist step which aims to eradicate the Palestinians from their own homeland, not only physically, but also through laws. We do not recognize the decision to make Jerusalem the capital of Israel, nor efforts to establish new settlements to systematically displace Palestinians. And we reject the efforts of the Israeli government to form an apartheid state." The statement ended. Let's speak to Yudit Llany, an activist and photojournalist who joins us now live from Ashkelon, north of the Gaza border. Yudit, thank you for your time. Zionism is a very emotive word. Israel is a fairly neutral word. Do you think the two are now inextricably linked? Were you surprised to hear Benjamin Netanyahu say this is a defining moment for Zionism?
I wasn't surprised at all. This law basically legislates a practice that has been existing since 1948, since the establishment of the state, and has gotten gradually worse. Israel has about 80 extremely racist laws which were legislated before. And basically what this law does is that it exposes the existing situation. There is a situation of apartheid, and this law basically shows it and says, yes, and we agree and we think it's good. That is the only difference. If before this law, Israel tried to present itself as democratic and Jewish, which basically is an oxymoron for several reasons, now it has made the choice and says, we don't want to be democratic, we only want to be Jewish. And as that, you give privileges to one people at the cost of the other people, at the cost of the indigenous people, the Palestinians.
And how will it change?
This law basically, yes.
Yudit, how will it change their daily lives for the Palestinians who call themselves Israelis?
Well, the Arabic language has been put in a different position. It no longer is an official language. It will help to create a situation in which Palestinians will have an even more difficult time to get their rights. And also this law cannot easily be turned backwards because it is a basic law and it needs a very large majority, an absolute majority. But from my point of view, this law is also problematic because Israel suddenly says that they represent Jews of all over the world, and the majority of the Jews do not live in Israel. They did not elect this government. They did not vote for it. And who are you to present yourself as the representative? It's absurd also in that manner.
Some countries will remain neutral. We've already heard that Turkey has condemned the Knesset's decision. Presumably there'll be other, mainly Muslim countries, you can imagine, who will speak out against what's just happened. But Israel's a sovereign country. The international community, I was just going to ask you, can't really do anything about this, can it?
Well, first of all, I think BDS is important. Israel needs to pay for what it does. And the only way it can change and will perhaps change is when it will be made to pay, because until now the Zionist project has never paid for the things it does, for the wrongs it does. The boycott is important. Disinvestment is important. Sanctioning is important. I think the law that was passed in the Irish Senate, where the buying products from the territories has been defined as criminal. I mean, it's just the first stage of legislation in Ireland, but I think that really is the way to go. And Israel should be boycotted. I'm an Israeli, but I'm ashamed of my country. I'm ashamed of this legislation. And I know that the only way it can change is when there will be pressure from abroad, because from inside, basically human rights organizations have been demonized, have been delegitimized, and it is becoming more difficult to protest for human rights and against apartheid. So pressure needs to be put from abroad, and especially from Europe. I do not expect much from the US, obviously, with Trump. But I think the European community has condemned this law, but they should be more strong about it, and they should punish Israel.
Yudit, thank you very much indeed for joining us on TRT World. Yudit Llany speaking to us from Ashkelon.